All right, well, let's have a look around. Okay, here we are now. This is pre-dawn, as you've seen me do before. Now, I've blocked in all the undertones, so I've got everything around about, you know, just the, I guess, well, the sun's behind you guys, and I'm painting the other side. Not looking into the sun, it's too early in the morning for me. All right, so I've got all the bands of colours of the sky forming, and I've got everything ready to go, and as soon as that sun pops up, it'll lick on those hills just over there, and bang, I'll throw them in. So I've just got that pre-dawn at the moment. I'm just waiting for that first burst of light. Okay. Okay, well, there it is. Now, you can see that that was just licking on there. You don't want to overdo that. You just want to lick those few bits of bold colours on that really contrast the cooler tones, the warm colours. Flick a few extra shadows in, etc. A couple of little details in the tweaky trees, and that's it. Just leave it alone, because part of the beauty of a painting like this is its simplicity and its rawness, I guess. And as you can see, we'll have a zoom in closer, you'll see that there's tons of the raw linen, the clear primed linen, showing through. So that's adding to the painting itself. And the more you work it, of course, the less of that linen's going to show. And in some ways it'll probably take away rather than help the painting. So it's a quick impression, and I'm pretty happy with it. And what I might do, if I'm really happy with it when I get home, I'll paint a bigger version in the studio. So going to paint quite a few of these little on location ones and really go for colour of fleeting effects, those morning and evening. And if I can get them right, plenty of them, I've got plenty of material to work with to paint major, simplistic, modern landscapes, I guess you could say, modern impressionism. That's the goal. All right. Normally I'd keep that paint, but because I'm on the move at the moment, still got another 100 kilometres to go, 60 miles, whatever. So that paint on that pallet as I'm riding in the cart truck stands vertical. It'll slide down and end up with all sorts of a mucky patch. So in this particular instance, because I'm on the move, this paint's going to waste, unfortunately. But that's not always the case. Once I set up and I've got a good base camp, I'll keep reusing the paint. Hide the pellets in the shade so they don't dry out too quick between paintings, and also, if I've got the tins of paint, bung the paint back in the tin, knock it down flat. All right, well, here we are. This looks like a nice spot to have a bit of a cook-up, a bit of a lunch. Got a nice backdrop there, the Flinders Ranges again. Nice open clay pan area, so got to dig a bit of a hole and have a bit of a fire there, I reckon. Should be good. Right, let's get into this. It's not much trouble getting a fire going in these dry conditions. A bit of kindling. There we go, drop that in nicely. Game on, eh? How much fun is this? Absolutely love being in the bush, eating, living, existing, connecting with the earth. Fantastic stuff. Alright, don't have to hunt too far for firewood, which is good. First things first, before I have something to eat, of course I'm going to need a nice cup of tea. Alright, hang on. Really loving this trip out here this time. Like, I'm in Arkaroola, which is the northern part of the Flinders Ranges, and it's really known for its super rugged mountains and also its beautiful waterholes and gorges. So it's a really good trip, and there's plenty of good weather, and getting a lot done, which is the best part. So it's just great to get out and about and just relax and be part of nature for a while too, as you know. So all in all, good trip. Right, what are we going to knock up today? Something similar, I guess. You've all seen me knock up things on this sort of basis. I'm just going to get a whole lot of healthy food, throw it all together and see what happens. Let's get this onion done first. Alrighty. You always got to start with a nice onion. That's good, let's put that in, shall we? Some people ask me why have I got such a blooming big breadboard, but when you're working this close to the dirt, it can come in mighty handy. There we go. Right. Knock up a couple of spuds, why not? What have we got? Few of them. Love eating really good food out in the bush too. Not skimping too much on cheap meals. Just eating good gear. There we go. All right. Not too bad. And the homegrown pumpkins. Looks alright. Okay, one more. go. Right, let's get this on. Throw that in there. Stir that all around and see what happens. Like I said before, it's good to cook up the major feed for the day in the middle of the day. Then in the evening when I'm busy painting the fleeting light, I've already got something to eat. Just reheat the already cooked meal. Let's throw some Brussels sprouts in too for good luck. I'm more than sure I should be having my cruciferous green vegetables, so any chance I can throw those little puppies in. There we go, there we go. Sounds great, looks great. Chuffing away nice and slow. Alright, time to add a few more ingredients, I reckon. Let's get that one off if we can, there we go. Sounds good. Might throw a few tomatoes in and a little bit of sweet corn for good luck. That looks good, already got to stir it, hang on. Well, I guess it's not quite time to paint yet, so I've worked out a composition in my head. Got a good lineup of hills and trees and whatever, just waiting for the light now to get low enough so I get enough shadow in the foreground so the hill really pops and glows. So that's a good thing, you know, through the day I like to eat my major meals, do a bit of reading and relaxing, but also finding the composition for the evening painting, that fleeting moment of beautiful strong colours, pre-planning it all, working out the composition, and then boom, when it's time you just go flat stick. So yeah, it's all good. Very peaceful out here, very peaceful. Anyway, this isn't going to buy the baby a new dress. I think I better get a few other things ready. What do we got here? Let's get this one. Good stuff, big chunky bits. Oh, it's all good, look at that. I better not put that down there, all sorts of strife. Nice chunky bits, yeah, beauty. Oh, she's hot. Beautiful amount of garlic in that, it's got a real twang to it. Just that right amount of chilli, not too hot, not too cold, just right. Not overcooked, so there's nice chunky bits, rather than turning into a pulpy puree. On the whole, not bad. Alright, well here we go. Got ourselves set up here. I'm going to wait for the evening. We've still just got the, the afternoon light, and then soon the evening light will kick in and get stuck into it. But for now I might just get everything ready so I'm not in too much of a race at the end. So let's just see if this is the right burnt sienna. I've got one that I haven't used for a while and it's started to skin over a bit, and that's not too bad. You can get the skin off, but let's have a look. What do we got? See, that one's got a bit of a skin. I might just rip the skin off. It's a bit of a waste, but it takes quite a while before it does skin. Just take that off, and then we'll get back into the good. There's plenty of good paint underneath that, so. There we go. Get it all clean, right. Now we're ready to go. I can get a big blob of paint. Don't want to get too carried away. We're not too big on the canvas here, or the linen, Belgian linen. So I'll put just enough. And if I put too much, that's no worries either, because I'll stick it back in the tin before it's got a chance to dry. Working with the tins is actually a great thing. Now, that was a 500ml. This one is a litre. So this is titanium white. Absolutely enormous. Stops you being so stingy with paint. Okay, so we'll get that gear out. Let's have a look. Big, beautiful blob of titanium white. And we'll do another one for good luck. Maybe a tad more, and like I said, I'll put it back when I need it, if I need to. All right. Blue going. This is ultramarine blue. Not going to need too much. That'll do that one. I still use tubes, particularly on when I do a little on-site painting, but Tins are fantastic, so why not, eh? Why not? Another good way to go is cartridges. The only problem is if you squeeze too much out, you can't put it back in the cartridge, which obviously is a problem, but I've got a tin as well, which is almost empty, of yellow ochre. This is yellow ochre. I've got a tin, so what I'll do is if it's got too much of that, that'll go back in the tin. Okay, right, I'm going to use a few tubes because I won't be using a lot of magenta, so that'll be a tube. I'll probably use more than that though, hard to say. I'll leave that easy access. Right, so that's magenta, viridian green, alizarin crimson, which is a nice red with a slight blue twang to it. Now I've got the ultramarine blue, which is a slight red blue. Now I'm going to use a cobalt blue, which is more of a neutral blue, and that'll be better if I want to mix green with it and things like that. So just a little bit of that. So what do we got? Viridian green, magenta, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, yellow ochre and white. And then I'll use cadmium yellow, hang on, bit of a fly. I'll use cadmium yellow and orange as the real highlights as the sun hits that hill behind us. So this is, as I've said earlier in other videos, this is a clear prime Belgian linen, so it looks like it's just raw, but there's 3 undercoats, all protected, so the oil paint will not soak in. We do not want that. Right, so now what I'm doing here is, as I've said before about the Flinders Ranges, it's an ancient seabed that over time now has risen up and got itself on about 45 degrees or whatever, and it's a really interesting subject. That's going to be the keynote, and I'm really emphasising that because there's a lot of grain going on in that hill like so that'll be a major player in the picture. Might just knock a bit of dark in now, so I'll go for alizarin crimson, viridian green, a real big tonal contrast between each other. Half mix them, so I've got patches of straight viridian green and patches of straight magenta. What do I want here? Just got to work out how I'm composing this picture. Just going to put a tree there to stop your eye going out that side, because the idea is going to flow from here and move across. So a bit of a higher tree there on that side will keep your eyes in the picture. Leading up to a nice focal glowing point here, which hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it will. And then off and on journey, so you come in across. Right. Right, so what I'm going to do is, because I'm waiting on that light, I'm going to do an educated guess. I'm going to anticipate what the sky is going to be. The sky will change colour from what it is now, but I'm going to anticipate what it is, and then when the sky is actually at that stage, I might need to alter a little bit, but I just want to get some work going because I can't wait, basically. All right. Okay, so what we use here, we might use a bit of yellow ochre, some of that cobalt blue, and some white, more white, some more yellow ochre. So it's kind of making a slight greenish colour. It needs plenty more yellow ochre. I'm going to have to get more of that yellow ochre going. I can see it right now. Just stick some yellow ochre in. Let's have a look. There's too much white in that, so I need to put more of the yellow ochre. So we'll start, let's have a look. Right, what are we doing here? I'll just start putting a bit of it in. Trying not to touch that other paint just yet. That can be blended later on. So that can go there. Now which way do I want my horizon to go? Do I want it to flick up slightly on the end, or do I want it to drop down? And in this case, I think I might want it to drop down to help pull the picture along. So what happens is you use what's there, but at the same time you're composing a picture. So drop a bit in here and there. You're composing a picture, so you've got to get the picture to flow beautifully on a two-dimensional surface, which is exactly what we've got here. Three-dimensional world behind me, two-dimensional surface here. So I'll just put a bit of that yellow ochre now. Where are we? I'm going to put more of this cobalt blue. I realise that I've probably got way too much ultramarine and not enough of the cobalt. I'm actually going to be using that more. I can see it now. Now we've got a little bit of cloud on the horizon where the sun's setting. All right, so we've got our cobalt blue and yellow ochre and white. The sky tends to go that sort of colour in the evening. It's getting a bit of it in, and it'll change more and more all the time, so I'll put that in. Like I said, trying not to touch these beautiful mountains just yet. What's happening there? Right. That one goes there. Right. Okay, more blue. Cobalt blue and white. Less of the yellow ochres as it goes up. Stick that in. Okay, now clean the knife, change tacks. White, go for that ultramarine blue, which is more of the red blue, and the alizarin crimson, so there's a lot more red in this top part of the sky. Bit more blue, bit more of the red, which is, did I say alizarin crimson? I meant magenta, okay, magenta. Put that in. Let's get the edges nice and lovely. Spend a little bit of time doing that, and then I'll be back into the whatever speed zone. Okay, so I'll just block that in like so. Now I'll just do a little bit of blending, so I'll just pull these blues into these ochres and vice versa. You get a lot of ochre in the sky at sunset. We'll put that in. Doing a bit of blending work here. Pulling them together. Okay, all is happening. Just pull through like so. Bring a bit more of that down, just get a bit more of a blend going first. Down into there, down into there. A bit more of that ochre colour there. Bin run. Pull that together, wipe it with a knife. Wipe the knife with a rag or a bit of paper, whatever you like. Just pull that through, blending those up, blending those down, getting a nice variety of marks. So we feel like that variety is the spice of life, and nature is full of variety. Like that clean, pulling through each time, wiping that clean. So that sky's getting all sorts of streaks of colour, warm and cool contrasts. I'll just stand back for a minute and have a look. Alright, that's enough playing with the sky. Let's just get some of that rock work in. Alright, what are we going to use? We'll go with a bit of cad orange, cad yellow, make it a little bit more of a yellow version. Just going to drop some in now. I'll just add a bit of white with that, I reckon. White and yellow. Just going to drop some real stinging colours, anticipating again what's going to happen. It is going to get a lot stronger than it is now, for sure. Drop it in. When you're working in the morning light, hang on. Yeah, it's still going, that's good. When you're working in the morning light, it's the opposite way around obviously. The colours start off dull and then all of a sudden they go really bright and then start to dull off again. This one peaks right at the end. The colours just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger until all of a sudden the sun's gone. So what I'm going to do is put those strong colours in now, some of them anyway, following that seabed. Stick a few of them in, and like I was saying earlier, I'll alter some of the colours later on because I need to change them and refine them, but for now let's just get a few bright colours in to see where we are. Now there's a nice little bit of a highlight running through here. Oops, yeah, whoops, yeah, whoops. Just throw a little bit out here and there, right? Okay. I can see more of those chocolate tones are still there, so I'm going to actually start going with them. So we've got some burnt sienna and yellow ochre. Let's just see if we can get more of those chocolate tones in the ancient seabed. Just stick them in like so. Beautiful chocolate colours. Very obvious the formation of the rock structures in this particular hill. Very obvious indeed. Alright, so let's build up a bit of a lower key. I'll add some ultramarine blue to the burnt sienna. Hang on, I'll just stand back for a minute and have a look. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to knock in a bit of a foreground shadow because you can see the foreground's getting into shadow. So I've got some burnt sienna and ultramarine blue for a darker tone. Knock it in, a bit more blue. It's a bit too dark. Just put a bit of sky blue with that then, so it's got a bit more white in it. Right, now a little bit of that cad orange mixed with the burnt sienna now. And the yellow ochre, this foreground, there's a bit of green in that one. Just get a deeper tonal value in the foreground here. Deeper tonal value. Work with a bit of viridian green and burnt sienna, all sorts of different colours. I'm going to knock some more shadows through there. Like so. A bit more blue, lighter blues, and lighter greens here. These are a few shadows in the middle foreground, oh, middle ground I should say, yeah. So I'm just cooling off a few shadows a little bit there. Right. Viridian green, yellow ochre. Just going to knock in some shadows of that gum tree that's sitting there. And a couple more shadows of that gum tree. A few of the cooler tones in there. Alright, get some yellow ochre going with a bit of white, a bit of burnt sienna. Just let's have a look. Yep. Maybe a bit of the cad colours to spice it up a bit. Needs a bit more richness. Letting the shadow shine through. A bit more yellow and orange. Yep. Just lightly touching here and there. Right, a bit more white in that mix. Just get some of these rock structures, a bit of light going. Cad colours with the yellow ochre again. A bit more strength in the chromatic saturation. Leaving bits and pieces here and there of the linen showing through because that linen is a beautiful colour. Leaving bits of it showing through. It's very similar to the hill itself. Right. Alright, let's keep working around now. Currently I'm getting some viridian green, cobalt blue. Really nice colour. I'm just throwing a few complementary shadows in. Maybe get a bit of magenta with that too so it knocks it back a bit. That sun keeps going, she's gone out for a minute. Just lighten it a little bit with a bit more white. The tonal value needs to be slightly wider. So I'm really picking up all. A bit more mixing now. Where are we? Lightly, very lightly touching. Picking up the variance, subtle variance in the colour. Some of it's magenta, some of it's green. All subtle stuff to give more variety in the painting. A bit more green in that one. Lightly touch. Let's have a look what's going on, eh? You're right, the light's changing quickly now. Just fade a few of those blue shadows in there as it drifts across. I feel that light really drifting across there now. Right, now mix a bit more white with those cad yellow in particular to get a little bit more of a highlight where the sun's really licking brightly. So hang on. More yellow. Yellow. That light's really moving fast now. That's what happens. That's why I started the sky earlier, because bang, it just starts to go all of a sudden. All right, let's have a look. Right, light's moving fast. I'm getting some whites and cads, just getting a few of those beautiful wispy clouds. I just feel the energy of them. A bit more orange as it gets lower. There's some beautiful clouds going on. Wisping around. Alright, well, I'm starting to lose the sunlight. She's going quick now, so I'm pretty happy with what's going on. I feel like I've got all the colours and tones that I need to create that great feeling of light and shadow as the fleeting light casts across. Beautiful sky, like I said. What I reckon we should do before anything changes anymore is let's get that camera off, have a buzz around. Right. Alright, well, I think that'll about do. I've got my big impression or little impression. Pretty happy with that. The light's looking on the hill, and we don't want to do too much more. We've got the essence of the picture, so I think I'll leave it at that. Beautiful little homestead in the shadows. The light looking on the hill. Fantastic stuff. It's just come all of a sudden, extremely quickly. It's just there, literally, in a few minutes of starting painting. Some cool greens going here to contrast. Put some pale green in the sky as well. Here and there, because it is there. Pull that sky down to match, to meet in areas. Right, that was just a very quick one. The sun, as you saw, there's heaps of cloud cover where the sun's rising, so there was like 50-50 chance whether the sun was going to shine on the hills at all. I thought just start anyway, don't worry about that. If you worry, you won't get the painting done. So, you saw what happened, I was just blocking it in, the next minute that hill lit up for only a second. And it's gone again, so it's just a very quick impression, but that's the fun of plein air. You never really know what you're going to be doing till it's happening. I had great plans that this was going to be, you know, bright morning sun, clear sky in the outback. Boom, instead I'm running flat out and just getting a spear of light, but it worked out anyway. So, let's have a close-up look. So much fun. Okay, let's get this billy going. What do we got? She's a bit smoky at the moment. Right. Get that early morning cuppa going, eh? Alright, yeah, well that was a bit of fun, wasn't it? Yeah, very quick. Very quick painting. 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, I don't know, just extremely quick sketch. Just didn't even have time to start counting. Oh gee, here we go. Game on there, beauty. Yeah, but like I was saying, if it always came up the same day, it wouldn't be as much fun, would it? Like it's really interesting to paint something that's been put in front of you that you weren't exactly planning, and then working with that, finding a composition and working out a concept. So as soon as I started painting those hills, knowing that it was overcast, I was painting as if they were going to light up and just hoping they would. Fingers crossed, and for 30 seconds to a minute they did, and that's what gave me the opportunity to just to get that right version of that purple and orange. I find if I just made it up and put that light on, there's quite often something inconvincing about it. Because I saw it briefly for a few seconds, it's like, ah, right, it's that combination of colour. Quickly bang it together, I've seen it now, put it on. And quite often when you have that orange light, all the shadows just below it, like in the foreground, go a paler green blue. And if you're just making it up, you tend maybe not to put that in, but as soon as I saw it, as soon as it lit up, all the shadows in the foreground went that slightly blue-green. I thought, right, that's the combination. Got it. So yeah, good fun. Just working by the seat of your pants. Exciting stuff. Starting to talk. It's like a ritual doing it in this tea thing, tea ball. It feels almost like you're stoking a pipe or something to smoke. Got the tobacco in and away you go. There we go, we're on the boil. On the boil. What was that? Oh, classic. Don't know if they're in the shot or not, those two birds just behind me just landed in the tree there. just staring at me. One second they're there, 1 second they're gone, just like that. What a glorious world. Oh, that smoke's a bit rough. Alrighty then. Yeah. Got the Jesus clouds, got the beams of light coming out from the morning sun behind that cloud bank we were discussing. Alright, well I hope you've enjoyed this show. I'll be packing up, as much as it pains me, and heading back off today, so just enjoying my moments here, but I've had a great trip. Plenty of work done, unwind, the whole thing, so it's been a really good experience, and I hope you've enjoyed it. So if you like the video, remember to like the video and give the thumbs up and share it to all your mates and just spread the good word in general. That'd be fantastic. And if you haven't subscribed, it'd be great if you could do that and hit the notification bell and all the works and jerks. Alright, well thank you, and until next time, I'll see you later. Oh, coming through. That's all, folks.